What up, y'all? It's DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
And this is another edition of the Casey Crew.
Welcome.
Now, this is a special edition because we're actually in Hampton, Virginia for Hampton University's homecoming.
Yes.
Now, I went to Hampton University, and I usually come back here every year to spin, to talk to the students, and to do everything. And we're actually doing this not in the studio, not in a broadcast room, but we're actually doing this in our hotel room.
Yes.
So we wanted to get the podcast out. So I packed up some of the equipment so I could actually bring it here and we could actually do the podcast live from, I guess, Virginia.
So right now it's Thursday at 6:20 and we were traveling yesterday. So sorry we couldn't get it to you yesterday, but we're doing everything that we can to get it to you today.
Right. Right. So right now we're in our room. She's on one side of the room. I'm on the other side. So there's no feedback.
Wait, what do you mean there's no feedback?
You know, because if we're too close, we might bleed into each other's mics.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So I'm sitting crisscross applesauce. For those of you that don't know what that means, that's Indian style on the bed.
Correct. And I'm against the window laying on the floor.
Yep.
Right. But we're doing this podcast. So there is no popper. So we got to be very careful. You know the screen. So
you think people know what a popper is?
I'm telling you what the popper is because you just popped. So when you laugh out loud, you got to pull the mic away from you because there's no popper to protect us from our peas from popping and all that other stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, nobody knows what a popper is except you.
Well, popper is a screen that goes over the mic. So when you laugh or you say P words or T words, it sometimes jumps a little bit.
Okay. And also, I don't know how I'm sounding because Rashawn forgot to pack me headphones.
Right.
So he's the only one with headphones right now.
You sound great.
So I don't know how that's going to affect the way that I sound or...
Well, if you say something I don't like, you just won't know if nobody ever hears it. I'll just turn your mic down and you'll never know.
Okay. Sounds good.
So last week we had it was an odd show.
Okay. To say the least.
You know, people would say that I didn't sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what they're talking about.
That's not true. You know exactly what they're talking about.
What?
Don't ask me what like you don't know.
What?
Don't ask me. I'm asking you what. You're in a better position to answer that question.
I don't remember.
So let me ask you what.
I don't remember what happened last week.
Now you don't remember what happened last week?
I barely remember what happened yesterday.
So now you don't remember what happened last week?
I don't. You want to?
Then why'd you bring it up? No, you just brought it up. So clearly you remember.
Because at the end of the podcast, you were like, if you think Rashawn sounded the same, let me know. Hit me on my Instagram. And all these people hit you on your Instagram and tagging me.
The vast majority agreed with me. Not only that, but there were quite a few comments where people said that you actually sounded funny from the very beginning, that I only quote unquote caught it at the end. And it's not that I caught it only at the end. I caught it from the very beginning. I just chose not to say anything or to mention it until the end.
Well, you should have mentioned it.
I did mention it at the end.
Well,
I was trying to let you live.
Well, I lived.
Yes. And then later on you got sick. And then after the podcast was over, you died because we got into it and it was a problem.
Right.
So I guess this could technically be the argument of the week. Okay.
You want to start with the argument of the week? What did we argue about?
Why
I don't
not?
remember.
Rashawn,
I really don't remember.
You damn well remember.
I don't. What do we remember? What did we argue about? I don't remember.
Well, from what I recall,
okay,
there was an email, and we got into the topic of telling little lies.
Right.
And I said that little lies can fester and create...
Oh, okay, I remember now.
I remember now. So I don't have to explain anymore?
No, you don't have to explain it.
I refreshed your memory.
Watch your peas. Your peas are popping, woman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear it.
Okay, you're good now. No, I was saying, as I lay my head into the curtain, I was saying that sometimes that I thought little white lies can save headaches and stresses. That's what I originally started with. And after having a conversation with you and us talking and us talking about how a little lie can fester to something big, or non-truths or only half-truths can make situations worse, and not an understanding of anything, I agreed with you.
What?
I
didn't really understand what you just said, actually.
I basically said you're right, damn it, okay? You shouldn't lie. You shouldn't try to cover shit up. You shouldn't have truths. You should be honest or don't be honest at all.
Because if you don't, then what can happen?
I mean, it could be a bigger situation. But for me, I was always the person that I would throw out a little lie. Because I felt like a little lie would save me a headache. And it usually did. Until my lie festered into a big lie that I was like, fuck it, you caught me. This is what it was. But that's what happens in relationships. It's like,
that's not what happens in relationships.
Sometimes it does.
That's what people choose to happen in relationships.
Right.
If they are liars.
Right. Well, it
doesn't just organically happen. Telling a lie is a choice.
Liar is a tough word. You can't say liars,
No, if you tell a lie, then by default, you are a liar.
All right, so I'm a liar. But
no, I'm not saying that you're currently a liar. And let me just say something really quick. I brought up a very small, somewhat insignificant example about the light bulb last week.
Correct.
And I chose that particular example because I thought it was a light example. No pun intended.
But don't.
Right, but I thought it was a light example. I didn't think that it would ruffle your feathers. I didn't choose maybe another lie that I could have pulled out of my memory bank. I chose something small and light. So I didn't want to give people the idea that I was petty and I was holding on to something so small from 10 years ago. But I just happen to remember most things.
Well, you know what
my memory is, pretty strong, and I just happened to remember it. And that's why I chose that one, because I didn't want to upset you.
Right.
And you got upset anyway.
But you know what it is? See,
but you were upset from the beginning.
I have to stop being a liar. I'm a liar.
You're still a liar?
No, I was a liar. I'm working on it, though.
But you said you're still a liar.
No, I said I'm working on it.
So you're a liar in transition?
I'm a liar in transition. I might be lying right now.
Oh, you're putting me onto something good right now. Do tell.
No, and I'm being serious. And the reason I'm saying this is because most men.
Oh, here we go.
I'm throwing you out there, fellas, too, so you better help me out.
Now it's interesting. Most men. Go ahead.
Most men lie in relationships because they don't want a headache. Perfect example, right?
Don't do that.
What?
You were rubbing your jeans and I could hear the noise. Go
Okay,
ahead.
all right. Most men, like for instance, today you was like, babe, let's go to Cheesecake Factory, right? Now, he was like, is that cool? I said, sure. I was lying. I didn't want to go to Cheesecake Factory. I don't like Cheesecake Factory. But I lied because I was like, you know what? I just want to make my wife happy. She wants to go to Cheesecake Factory, so fuck it. I lied. Boom. Perfect example. I lied to make you happy. Or, babe, when you come home, could you possibly get me pick something that you might ask me?
Pick up something for me from Sephora.
Sephora, right?
I'm all out of cleanser.
I don't feel like going to fucking Sephora.
We know this. I think you might have said that episode 1 or episode 2 of these podcasts.
So you know what I'll say?
And it stuck with me. And look, I remember.
So you know what I'll say? I would drive past Sephora and then I'll call you when I'm 5 minutes from the house. I'm like, babe, what did you want me to stop for again? I can't remember. And you'd be like, Sephora. I'm like, I forgot. I really didn't forget. But I drove past it. Exactly.
That's not nice.
I didn't say I did that. I said if that was the case. You just said Sephora, so that's not the case. I'm just saying if that was, but that's like a little lie.
That's the type of lie you would tell
in my past life, a week ago,
but not during transition.
Right, a week ago, not today. A week ago.
Oh, wait, we're only talking about a week ago.
A week ago, because I changed. In
a week.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, so that's why the light bulb scenario made you upset?
No, I
was tapping a nerve.
No, I'm just saying that's why, because I'm telling you the lie was for a good reason.
That Sephora example wouldn't be for a good reason.
Well, for me it was because I didn't really want to stop and I was tired. It was a good reason for me.
Well, I think people typically lie to benefit their own selves. They don't usually lie to benefit somebody. It's definitely not to benefit the person that they're lying to.
That's true.
I think that's kind of self-explanatory, no?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true, but yeah, you're right. So I told myself, well, we've been talking, and I said, no matter what, no matter if it's a small lie, big lie, medium lie, large lie, orca lie, fat lie, or just a minute lie, I'm just going to be honest, and wherever the cards fall, they fall.
Yes, Rashawn. Honesty is paramount in relationships. Because what I was saying last week is, if you lie knowing that it's wrong over little things, for me, it makes me question what you're able to do when it's a big thing.
I get it.
If you're going to lie to get out a little problem, what will you do when it's a big problem?
Okay. All right.
And it sends my brain sailing, and all types of things come to my head.
All right. Well, let me tell you this.
That's not good.
Let me tell you this.
That's not good for anyone.
The other day you called me. You was in your car and you was like, "Babe, tell me the truth. Did you take my charger?"
You took my charger?
I didn't take your charger. I didn't take your charger.
Oh, because that was, okay. All right.
I didn't take your charger, but I just wanted to see where you was with it. But now, the other day when you asked me, did I pee on the toilet seat? And I said it was probably Logan. That was me.
Okay. So sidebar.
Oh boy. What?
You know what I can't stand about you?
I don't want to hear it.
When I wake up in the morning and I walk to our bathroom and I open the door that leads to the toilet.
Okay.
And I find survivors in the toilet.
Awesome. Awesome.
I don't want you to leave behind any freaking survivors.
All right, we don't have to talk about that.
Okay? No mother trucking survivors.
See, this is part of my problem.
In the toilet.
No. This is my problem, though.
Oh, now you have a problem?
I have a problem.
The only thing that's missing in that toilet is a life raft.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay?
Let me ask you a question.
When you flush the toilet, you need to stay there and make sure that the whole ship goes down.
Hold on.
Okay?
Let me ask you a question.
No survivors.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm listening.
See, this is what I don't like.
I'm going to put a sign in the bathroom that says no survivors.
Okay, me too. And you know why I'm going to do it too?
What?
How you know it was me? It wasn't me.
That was you.
Prove it.
That was you.
Prove it. We have 5 kids. Well, 4.
Yes, but my 13-year-old's turds are not that size.
How you know? What size are they? They are.
I know, because I've seen his turds before.
And Jackson,
those were grown man survivors.
And Jackson he poops like a grown man. Jackson, our 3-year-old, poops like a grown man.
He might poop like a 13-year-old, but he definitely doesn't poop like you.
All right. Okay, no more survivors.
Seriously.
You don't have to say that though. That's something you could have said off mic.
Okay.
All right, we'll see. All right. Okay.
While we're changing ourselves and trying to become better and transitioning. Okay.
All right.
Since you brought up peeing on the seat, it kind of took me that way. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Now let's move on. All right. I got something for you. I'm gonna put it. All right. I'm gonna put survivors all over the place. They ain't gonna be survivors. They gonna be all dead.
I mean, because a big boy would flush and just make sure that everything went down.
I ain't got time for that. I got things to do. I got 5 kids. I gotta work.
Makes me love you a little bit more every time I see a turd in the toilet.
Does it?
It's just a little bit. It's like,
makes you love me.
Kind of chops away at like the whole sexy meter thing, you know?
Oh, all right. Anyway. Now let's talk about, you know what I want to talk about?
What's
since we are down here at Hampton University for homecoming, I want to talk about the times where you wanted to go out and I tried to force you not to go out and you went out anyway and you hated it and you should have listened to me.
I should have listened to you.
We were talking, right? We were driving to our hotel.
Oh.
And we were talking about the times, because there was so many times where we would go out or, you would want to go out and I would tell you, you can't go out. And you was like, oh, I can't. You're not going to tell me what to do. And several occasions that happened. Now, if you don't know, there's so many different things that go on out in the world, whether it was Philly Greek, Penn Relays, Freaknik, it was Grant's Tomb, New York Greek Fest, all the things that happen throughout the summer where everybody goes and it's always a huge congregation. It's always a lot of fun. So
always a lot of traffic.
So I used to go all the time with my boys. Used to be like maybe 10, 15 of us. We used to wipe the cars down and we used to go hang on the beach and do all the stuff the fellas do, just chill and hang.
Then I got a car.
And then Gia got a car and wanted to go. And I told her, first thing I said is, no, you can't go. Now let's talk about Florida.
Daytona Beach.
Gia wanted to go to Daytona Beach. We were in college. And
in Virginia.
She said she wanted to go. And I forbid her to go. Right? I said, you better not go. If you go, it's going to be a motherfucking problem. And she was like, I don't care what you say. I'm going. I got my ticket. Me and my girls are going. And you went out there to Daytona Beach. And Daytona Beach is like, they call it Black Weekend.
Okay.
Where everybody goes out, they ride their motorcycles, their cars and everything. And it's always hood. I try to tell her, this hood is not a place for you. It's hood. We go, it's 20, 30 of us. So if there's ever a situation, ever a problem, I got backup. But
Baka?
Backup. It's like backup. Anyway, I had backup.
Oh.
Okay. So you went out there and now explain the story of when your boyfriend at the time said don't go and you wanted to go anyway.
Well, I think that I really wanted to go because you were so adamant about me not going. And what you used to do was try to throw your weight around and bully me into making the decisions that you wanted me to make. So I felt like a kid rebelling against her parents. If you told me that you didn't want me to go somewhere and you basically forbade me from doing it, it would make me want to go even more. That particular time, I actually regretted going.
And what happened when you went? Tell the people how I told you not to go.
Said it was going to be.
And you went anyway. And what did you experience?
Awful. It was so bad. I didn't have a drop of fun. It was congested.
Okay.
It was, well, you know what? I think my entire experience I can sum up with this one example. So we were walking up and down the strip. And we came to a light and we had to cross the street.
Right.
And this guy walks up behind me and he taps my butt.
Smacks your ass.
Okay, I chose to say taps my butt.
Smack that ass. Okay, smack that ass.
And I turned around and I said something to him, probably along the lines of, don't touch me, or what do you think you're doing, or something like that. I'm
Correct.
Sure. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I sure as hell remember what he said. He responds to me with, bitch, if you don't want your ass touched, why the fuck are you down here?
Didn't your boyfriend tell you?
No, he didn't say that.
Okay.
And I responded with the,
right?
Now you know me.
Right.
I am the last person to allow someone to speak nastily to me without responding.
Okay.
But this might have been the only case where this has ever happened to me. The look in his face told me that he was going to slap the shit out of me.
Yeah.
If I said another word to him.
And you did the right thing.
I turned around, I shut the bleep up.
Shut the fuck up.
Waited for the light to change and crossed the street.
There you go.
He meant what he said. Like, he meant exactly what he said. Why are you down here if you don't intend to get disrespected? And he really, the look in his eyes told me that he was a mean, potentially violent person.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I'm not trying to get slapped in the middle of the street in Florida.
There you go.
Let me just go on my way. And I was mortified at what happened. So there were a series of events where I just saw, I mean, that was the only time that I was disrespected, but where I saw girls getting disrespected.
All the time.
Guys walking up behind females that had on bikinis and
Pulling their bikinis
their
down.
bikini strings. And then, you know, they would be exposed, things of that nature, girls being inappropriately touched and whatnot. So that time I actually regretted going.
Right.
But then there were other times where I didn't have a similar experience where I went against what you said.
Oh, what about that time?
But you were just so OD with it.
No, but you know, it wasn't a matter of being OD with it. And you know, that's the bad thing about it. Most females, I would say a lot of females, you know, think that because their man or their boyfriend says don't go is, he don't want me to go because no, I don't want you to go because it's not safe. And I tell you,
that's not the reason why you didn't want me to go.
Yes.
No.
What was the reason?
That did wind up happening, but you were just a controlling person that never wanted me to leave the house.
That a little bit too.
That's what that was.
But the same thing with our daughter. Like, I'm gonna tell Madison straight up, like, you can't go. And,
but
and I'm not going to give her an option. You cannot go.
No, I agree with that.
Because I've been there. I've seen how these dudes treat women, and I don't want to see you a part of it. I don't need you a part of it. I don't. Nope.
Right, but that's coming from a parent who's experienced those things and is talking to their child from that point of view.
And I was talking to my girlfriend.
When we were younger, I was, I don't know, probably 19. You were probably 20. And you were coming from a perspective of a jealous boyfriend that didn't want me to maybe meet somebody on the outside world.
But I also experienced it and I seen what was going on.
But that's not the reason why you didn't want me to go.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
It was a little bit.
No, it wasn't.
It was, yes.
No, it absolutely wasn't.
I'm secure.
Rashawn, if I told you that I was going to go to the corner bodega, you'd be like, hold on, I need to hire an escort to take you. You know, you were just like that all around. No, it wasn't about safety. You were just controlling. And I had to exert my own independence and show you that you can't tell me what to do.
Yeah, and you almost got raped.
I didn't almost get raped, but I didn't have a great time.
Right. You grabbed your ass. First was your ass, then it was pull off your thing, and you never know. But that's why I didn't want you there. And the same thing I remember, we were going to Skate Key, I think it was the name of it. Skating rink in New Jersey.
Skate Key. Mm-hmm. Where was that?
It was in New Jersey. I'm not sure what part of New Jersey.
Okay. Was it in Jersey?
It was in Jersey, yeah.
Okay.
Same thing. I said, don't go, babe. It's crazy. You know, you definitely don't want to go. And you went, and it was like a big, huge bomb threat, bomb scare, and a shooting. And remember?
I don't remember exactly what happened. I thought there might have been a shooting or something like that.
I told your ass that time too.
But I was very safe. My father brought me.
That doesn't make you.
My father brought me and my friend.
Bullets don't have names.
And we didn't even wind up going inside because it was closed by the time that we got there. Something
exactly. You could have saved erupted. The trip.
But a better example would be Philly Greek.
All right. Now, if you don't know what Philly Greek Fest, I don't even know if they still do Philly Greek anymore. Philly Greek is when they have this huge park in Philly and everybody on the East Coast goes down there. They ride motorcycles, there's cars, and there's definitely too many people and not enough cops. So anything goes down. For just an example, they have 3-card Monty, right? And I went with my friend. His name was Alex at the time. And
his name isn't Alex anymore?
Well, he was you know what I mean. His name is Alex. And when we got there, they were doing 3-card Monty, and it was like 10 of us. So we was like, there's no way that this guy's going to take out money because it's 10 of us. So they did the 3-card Monty.
20 eyes on it.
Right. Mm-hmm. So they did 3-card Monty, and they took him for $500, right? Mm-hmm. So then the guy was like, put your watch up. He had a Movado. Mm-hmm. Put your watch up, and then, you know, if you win, you can have your money back. Mm-hmm. So they did it, and he lost.
Oh, really?
And we found out that the way they were doing the 3-card Monty,
were the ish back then.
They were.
Yeah.
When they did 3-card Monty, they weren't doing it right because it was like a ball. They have it wasn't 3-card Monty, but it was like 3 cups and they have the ball and they move the ball around. You got to see which cup the ball is under. So they threw the ball on the floor. So when they did it, there was actually no ball under it.
Mm-hmm. So no matter which one you chose, you'd be wrong.
So when we figured it out, we was like, what? So then we started beefing. So we knocked the table over. When we knocked the table over, we realized that the 3-card Monty guy had like 40 people with him.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So we almost got our ass whooped. But that's the type of environment that you're in when you go to some of those things sometimes. It's scammers. It's people that's up to no good. So they really try to take advantage of what's going on. So I told you, it's not a place for you, babe. Don't go.
That's what you said? Now let's be more realistic. What did you really say?
Bitch, you ain't going?
It might have been a little bit more along those lines.
Bitch, you ain't going. And I went even further. I called your moms and pops.
Listen, well, before you called my mother and father, I decided to go.
Right.
I tried to appease you. I was like, no, I'm not going to go. But you were going.
Correct.
Right? No, you weren't going. You had a show. So you weren't going.
Right.
You wound up going.
Because you went.
You didn't plan on going.
I had to check up on your ass. Go ahead.
So I tried to dip. And I drove down with my girls. And you called me. And then when I finally got down there, I was like, yeah, I'm down here. Basically, like, what are you going to do?
Right.
And you had a bleep fit. Mm-hmm. And you called my parents.
Right.
Next thing I know, I get a phone call from my mom, frantic. Gia, what's going on down there at that Philly Greek thing that you're at? And I said, what do you mean? Rashawn just called me and told me that girls are getting raped and it's dangerous and you can get killed down there. I said, oh, really, mommy? That's a battery he put in your back?
I might have said that.
That's what he told you, Mom? I said, Mom, you know Rashawn. You know why he doesn't want me to go. I said, Mommy, there's no such thing. It's not about girls getting raped or anything like that. He's just trying to scare you so that you order me to come home. I said, believe me, you know I wouldn't put myself in an unsafe situation.
Yeah,
I'm with a group of girls. I'm okay. Oh, because Rashawn, we spoke 4 times and he told me that I had to make sure that you got back here or else something bad was going to happen. And I said, Mommy, I promise you, I'll call you every hour on the hour just to let you know that I'm safe and fine. Don't worry. She was like, well, let me call Rashawn and see what he has to say. I said, what the hell kind of charm is he working on you? Like, what? Like, how does this happen? I said, I'm your daughter and I'm telling you what it is. I am here. No, but he just seems so concerned. I said, no, Mommy. He sounds manipulative and controlling. And it's working on you.
That's why your mom likes me more than she likes you.
My mom freaking adores you. My mother, she's always absolutely adored you. And you could do no wrong in her eyes.
Right.
You could never do, any time that we ever got into a thing, you would always call her and complain about me. And I would get a call from her, or she would tell me to come to the house and I have to go and sit down. And then she would always tell me about poor Rashawn.
That's right.
This is what you did to poor Rashawn.
Poor Rashawn.
Poor Rashawn does everything that he can to make you happy. And this is how you treat the poor boy. You know the poor boy loves you so much. And poor Rashawn has to go through all of this. I mean, I couldn't deal with you. I know that I couldn't deal with you.
There you go.
And I'm like, wow.
That's why your mama loves me. You know, every night before I go to work, I get a blanket and I cover your mama up and make sure she's tucked in.
Because she always kicks them off.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you know that, we have no sodas in the house?
Poor
I gotta hide sodas in the house because your mother loves soda so much, and I little sneak her a little soda because you ban sodas from the house. You know that?
I mean, I could never, whenever it was something between you and I could never do right in the eyes of my mother. It doesn't matter. You could have, I'm not even going to give an example. You could have done anything and she would have found a way to be on your side. There were times I just let you both go, and we would get into an argument. I'd get a phone call from her. I'm like, Mom, don't even call me. I got to go. Click. Like, I can't even talk to you.
Well, that's why when I go, I'm leaving your mom my watch.
So anyway, so I get down there and you tell me, you get on the phone with me. I tell you I'm not coming. I spoke to my mom and dad. I'm still not coming home.
Ooh.
So you said, I got something for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what do you mean? Just don't be surprised if you see me pop up on you and yoke you up. Yoke who up? Nothing. I gotta go. You hung up on me.
Uh-huh.
Then you called me like, I don't know, maybe 4 hours later and told me that you were down there and you're looking for me. I said, you know how many people are down here? How the hell do you think you're going to find me? And you were like, don't worry. I got eyes everywhere.
Everywhere.
I got eyes everywhere.
I was a little crazy.
I said, what do you mean? As a matter of fact, I just saw some people that said they just saw you. I'm about 5 minutes behind you. You just better keep one eye peeled for me.
That's right.
I said, what the hell kind of relationship did I done get myself into?
I don't know.
You had me walking up and down the streets looking around because I just imagined you like burling out of the crowd, running towards me.
Right.
And like doing something that would embarrass me and really be off-putting. So I remember like looking, I couldn't even concentrate on enjoying myself. I was constantly looking around for you and you never caught me.
I wonder if I really came down there.
No, you really did because I was at like this area where everybody was and I saw some people from Queens that I knew and they told me they had just seen you and that you were looking for me. And that you were asking everybody if they saw me. Anybody from Queens that you knew that I might have known or that knew what I looked like, you were asking them if they saw me. Because I ran into somebody, they're like, your boyfriend's looking for you. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Let's
How long ago did you see him? What color shirt was he wearing? Did he look upset?
Yeah, you
Did he have a crazy look in his eye?
That's right.
Did he have a dagger?
I wouldn't have no dagger, but I was definitely looking for you. I was definitely looking for you.
You were so crazy that I was a little shook.
Right.
Just to be honest.
All right. Well, I wouldn't have done nothing but just give you a nice big kiss.
So what's the point of all of that? You brought that up to say what?
No, I was just saying that sometimes you have to listen to your man. Like, your man is looking out for your best interest. If he doesn't want to go out, or he's telling you that the people you're around is a little crazy, you might just want to listen sometimes. Because we were telling these stories, and I was like, you know what?
Because we just came down here to Hampton.
Right.
And, driving through the streets here and passing by your old apartment complex.
Right.
And, driving on campus, it really brought back a lot of memories.
A lot of memories.
Yeah. And it was during those years that you were at your craziest and you're most unruly and you're most possessive. So, but I mean, now in hindsight, they're good memories. They're like good, funny memories. I would advise my daughter differently.
Correct.
But in hindsight, it's something to look back to and laugh.
Okay. All right. Well, can we change gears a little bit?
Yeah, let's change gears.
Let's go to the email of the week. And once again, guys, if you hear a little hum noise, we don't have mic stands. We're actually holding these mics ourselves. All right. Now let's go here. Hey, what's up, Gia and Envy? My name is JR. I've been with my girl for 3 years. So I know my girl had a one-night stand 2 years prior to me. To make a long story short, she told me she took one for the team.
What does that mean?
She took one for the team. That means she probably went with the ugly guy.
I don't understand.
All right, well, it explains a little more. She told me that her friend wanted to go home with the guy she met in the bar, and as his friend wanted to go home with her, my girl. She stated her friend asked her to go home with the guy to do me that favor. I owe you. So to get my point, I think her friend doesn't think highly of her to ask her to have sex with a complete stranger.
I'm so confused. I don't even understand.
I'm explaining to you. Please give me your thoughts on this subject. I also attached a screenshot of our text conversation so you can have a better understanding. Thanks so much. So, okay. Let's say we both dudes, right?
You and me.
Right. 2 girls at the bar. One girl you feeling. Mm-hmm. So you like, yo, I'm gonna
Can you be a girl and Can you be a girl? Can I still be a girl in this scenario? So we're 2 girls.
Okay, all right, fine.
We're 2 girls at the bar.
Fine. 2 girls at the bar, right? And that is 2 guys.
Okay.
One cute guy, one ugly guy.
Okay.
Right? So you're like, hey, I like the cute guy. I want to go with him. I want to take him back to the room. Mm-hmm. Can you stay with the ugly one?
Stay here at the bar.
Or wherever it goes. Can you go to the room with the ugly one? Because the bar's closing. So you go to the room with
So I'm going to sleep with the dude that I'm not feeling just so
take
you
one
can get
for
your
the
rocks
team.
off tonight?
And that's what take one for the team means.
Okay.
So now let me
I know what the phrase means. I just didn't understand it in that context. Go ahead.
So now let me read the text message. It says, but
Wait. So she told her boyfriend.
She had a one-night stand because she had to take one for the team.
That's crazy.
What? You talk about honesty, tell the truth. So she told the truth.
You confuse that. Just because I expect you to tell the truth and you tell the truth, it doesn't mean that I don't have the right to respond truthfully to your truth.
Oh.
I said that to you last week.
No, okay. Well,
apparently you weren't listening.
I was listening. I'm lying. I wasn't listening. Transition. Here we go. But he goes, but why you told me? He says, but why you told me you took one for the team if it was a planned night and you knew what you was going to? I guess she replies,
wait, if it was a planned night.
You know what you was going to.
So in other words, you're going back to the hotel or
right.
to
It
wherever.
was a planned night. You know what you was going to do.
You knew that you were going to go and sleep with dude.
Right.
Okay.
She says, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know someone else was coming out until I got there. So
okay.
he responds.
Right, I get that.
So he responds. So she said, hey, said her name. I need you to go home with his friend so me and my guy can do us. She replied, please stop. He says, no, I want to know. And then she responds, I mean, she just said he wants to go home with you. I owe you. He's cool and that's it. He goes, laugh out loud. Crazy how you remember that. But this is your friend, you say. She has no respect for you to even be comfortable to say, go have sex with a guy you don't know and I owe you. Laughing my ass off. I'm curious. How can she pay you back? So what do you think?
I think that he's absolutely right to feel some kind of way.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Rashawn. Okay. This is how I feel.
Go ahead.
I look at our bodies as
a temple.
Treasures, in a sense.
Should have said temple.
No.
That's what most people say. My body's a temple.
I'm not really trying to.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that we do with our bodies what we see fit. And if you see fit to be intimate with, a strange person and, have a one night stand, then okay, as long as you're safe.
Right.
But it has to be your decision.
Correct.
If you sleep with somebody, take them back to your hotel room, fool around with them, whatever, and it's not because it's your choice, it's because you're facilitating something else for your friend. If I'm the person that's with you, I'm looking at you like, well, how valuable is this treasure?
Okay.
Is this like fool's gold? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I personally, and I've said this to you in the past, and this is just how I look at things. And I'm not saying that people should necessarily look at things this way, but this is my own feeling. I always want the things that other people either don't have or that's difficult to get. Okay. And I think that's human nature. I don't think that it's human nature that people want things that are easily attainable. Mm-hmm. If you go into a store and, there's the regular part of the store and then there's the sale rack. Okay. The sale rack is usually the things that people don't want. Mm-hmm. And that's why they go on sale. There's an excess of it and the company has to get rid of it. So they mark it down so that they don't have surplus inventory. Correct. Right? Mm-hmm. So if people had their druthers, if they had their way, they would shop in the rest of the store, all of the new, fresh, shiny things that's hot and, just came in. They're not going to go to the sale rack. Mm-hmm. Now, we all go to the sale rack. Right. You know what I mean? Because we all want a deal. But you wouldn't choose that if you didn't have to. Okay. Or if you had money pouring out of your pockets, you would get the things that were a little bit more difficult to attain. When it's Christmas time and you're a kid and you go to the store and, there's a toy that's blocked off, or for instance, for me, it was the Barbie dream house with the elevator. I remember that Christmas. I might've been like 9 years old and it was sold out everywhere. Right. And that made me want that Barbie dream house that much more. I got you. I wanted it because everybody wanted it, but it's sold out. They only made a certain number and now it's unattainable. I wanted it even more. I don't want things that come easy. I got you. And I definitely don't want someone or something that everybody can have, because then you don't feel as though it's special. I got you. But whenever something is easily attainable or there's too much of it, the value goes down. Right. And I feel that way about human beings. I do. If you're easy and nobody has to work to get your attention, nobody has to work to get your body, they just have to be there, I don't want you. Okay. So I'm not saying that he doesn't want his girlfriend, but if he's questioning her because she gave it up to somebody that she wasn't even really interested in, right? I get it.
See, I look at it a little differently. And the reason I look at it differently is this. You're with me now. We've been together for 2-3 years now, right? Mm-hmm. You love me, or maybe you don't love me.
Let's assume that they're in love.
But you and I both know that people change. We all have that one friend that was a whore before, mm-hmm. that totally changed. Mm-hmm. And maybe that was a one incident where she made a stupid mistake, but that might not define who she is.
I agree with that.
Yes. What she did was not right, and taking one for the team is stupid, and maybe she was just being childish and it was just stupid. But she might not be that person anymore.
And that's true. And that's why I said it is within his right to question that. Correct. In which case she would give him an answer or an explanation, and then he can judge how he feels about it based on how she responds to it. But I think that it's well within his right to question it.
Yeah, he could. But, like, how much can you question somebody's past? You know, if you're meeting somebody, because people do a lot of dumb shit in their past. Mm-hmm. You know, they sleep with a lot of dumb people. They might even do some scams and steal and do some stupid shit that you be like, damn, I did some stupid shit. I mean, even myself, I was stealing out of Costco at one time.
Right.
I didn't need to. I wasn't broke. It was just easy to do, and I did it. It was stupid. Mm-hmm. Now we go to a store and, you know, the person forgets to charge me for something. I'd be like, look, you didn't charge me for that extra shirt.
I mean, that just happened 2 hours ago.
Right, with you. But I'm the same way. Like, no, charge me. I don't want you to get in trouble, and I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of you. Let me pay for that.
If you see if you're standing at a register,
right,
and you're watching your items being rung up, if the cashier skips over an item and doesn't charge you, and you see that, and you allow that item to be put in your bag without bringing it to the cashier's attention, in my opinion, that's stealing.
That's stealing. I mean, I've done it several times.
You know that you are getting something for which you did not pay for.
Right.
And even though you didn't go and take a shirt and shove it under, you know, your bag and, you know, walk out of the store hoping that the alarm doesn't go off, they're both stealing.
Right.
You're getting something for nothing intentionally.
Right. Yeah, I know. I've done it several times, but I don't do that. I don't do it anymore.
We don't. Yeah, we don't.
I mean, I'm against it now because I believe in karma and I believe in you got to live right. You got to live right.
Hold on, no, that's not even a good. That's not good. What you just said.
What?
You shouldn't say, for instance, not steal because of karma.
I didn't finish what I was saying. You cut me off.
But you did say karma. So even if I cut you off, you did. It shouldn't be any of it.
Well, let me finish what I'm saying.
Let me just say something about that, though, because I think that people probably do feel that way when it comes to doing good things. You should do good things because it's the right thing to do.
Correct.
And if, you know, you're one of God's children and you view yourself that way, it is the right thing to do. You shouldn't stay away from doing bad things because you're scared that it might come back to you, because then it doesn't really come from a great, genuine place. You just don't want to be punished for what you've done wrong.
Right.
But let's say that there was no punishment. That insinuates that you would still do something wrong.
Right. I mean,
do you understand what I'm saying? So it should never be about karma.
I want free shit. Like, if somebody wants to give me some free shit,
what is wrong with throwing this pillow at you?
I want it.
I would throw this pillow at you.
But I know that that's not the right thing to do. That doesn't mean I don't want it. I still be thinking about it. Like, damn. Like, you ever go to Costco?
What are we talking about right now?
Listen. You ever go to Costco, right? And you know they ain't charge you for the stuff on the bottom, and you be like, damn, them Snapples is about $34 right there. Like, nah, I ain't gonna let it slide. But you really want to be like, hey, let that shit slide through. But you don't. But it's the right thing to do.
Because it's the right thing to do.
Right. So
you don't get away with something just because you can.
Right.
Go ahead.
So back to homie. Yes. You can question, but if she's changed, leave it alone. Like, that might have been her old self. You know what I mean? And
it all depends on her explanation.
Right. It might be her old self. And if it is, don't harp on that. It was 2 years before you, bro. Let it live, let it die. Now, if she's still like, yeah, I was a hoe and I'm still a hoe, then you got to let that hoe go. But if she's not and she has changed, don't harp on the past, in my opinion.
So let me ask you a question.
Ask away.
Let's say that you and I don't have our history.
Okay.
And we've been in a relationship for 2 years.
Correct.
And we enjoy each other and everything.
Correct.
And then you found out, and this is just personally between you and I.
All right.
And then you found out that I slept with a multitude of people before. And let's say we never had, a body count conversation.
Okay.
So it's not as though we talked about how many people we'd been with or anything. It's not that I had necessarily lied to you or anything like that. But you found out that I had been with a multitude of people.
Okay. Multitude is what?
A multitude. I don't even want to put a number on it. But whatever to you would mean a multitude, because I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that have slept with a multitude of people. But like I said, who you sleep with is your choice. So
correct.
There's no judgment here. So whatever a multitude is to you. And well, never mind. So you find this out because let's say people are like, oh, that's your girl? Oh, my friend slept with her, or it got back to you somehow.
Okay.
How would you feel? Let's have a real conversation.
All right.
I'm curious.
First of all, see, I can't really have this conversation with you, and I'm going to explain to you why.
Why?
Because if you did have sex with people in the past, I wouldn't want to know. I wouldn't want to know your body count. Me personally, I would not want to know.
Why?
That's just something I just wouldn't want to know. Like,
why?
I don't know. It's not something that necessarily something I would care about.
You wouldn't care. You wouldn't care?
I wouldn't care, and I wouldn't want to know because I
don't even understand that.
Because if you came to me and said I slept with 100 people, I wouldn't look at you the same.
But hold on. Why wouldn't you look at me the same?
Because I would think that you were a whore.
Right now we're getting to the meat and potatoes. Wait, before you say but. So you would rather be with a whore and not know that she was a whore. Let's say I was a whore.
Right.
You would rather just not know. You would prefer to be in the dark, is what you're saying.
I would prefer to be in the dark, but I would prefer to be in the dark because people change. And sometimes people are not able to understand that change. It's the same reason why some people don't want to hire felons or people that's been convicted of crimes before, because they still look at them for being that criminal.
Right.
And some people are changed and they're not that criminal. And I want to make that judgment for myself. So if you were a whore in the past and you changed, and I want to give you that blank slate and say, okay, this is our relationship. We're starting from now on. Now, I want to be able to be like, oh, well, she's still fucking around. I ain't fucking with her no more. Or same thing with a criminal. If he's
still stealing.
If he's, because people do criminal things. And like you said, I was arrested for doing that stupid shit at Costco. I'm not a thief. And
when you were in college.
I wouldn't steal shit. But if some people look at me like, oh, well, he stole that shit in college, he's always a thief. I wouldn't steal nothing. I wouldn't steal nothing if you left me in a fucking bank vault open by myself. I wouldn't take $1. That's how I am now.
No,
but
I know that.
I changed and I'm not that person anymore. So you have to give people in my opinion, sometimes a blank slate to say, you know what, that was your past. You fucked up. You did this, but that's not me anymore. And this is my new person. That's how I look at it.
So you wouldn't be able to trust yourself to know the information and discern the idea that people change.
No.
You wouldn't trust yourself.
No, I wouldn't. Definitely not. It's just like if something happens in our house, right? We look through who's been in our house and we look at...
What do you mean if something's happened in our house?
Let's say somebody steals something out of our house, right? Let's say we had a party at our house and we invited 20, 30 of our closest friends, right? And something is missing.
Right.
The first thing we're going to do is look at the person who probably stole something before or who had a record. That's what most people do. That has a criminal type of record. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily fair. Because they might have stole something in 20 years ago. But if you know that, you kind of, that stigma stays with you.
Okay.
And I wouldn't, if I'm dating somebody, I wouldn't want that stigma with somebody.
Let's take it. I understand what you're saying. I get it. But now, with all of that aside, 100 is just completely excessive. So I guess it's a good number because, not too many people are going to be able to relate with sleeping with 100 people. So let's just keep it at this ridiculous 100.
Right.
So all of that other stuff aside, you wouldn't feel a way about being with somebody?
I would if I knew.
No, but the idea is, okay, that you wouldn't want to know.
Right.
Right? But the fact that a person that you're being intimate with has been entered with 100 different people.
Correct.
You should want to know and to be able to form an opinion. You should want to know because the fact still remains that they were with, let's say, 100 people. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right, but that's
like you're saying I wouldn't want to be able to judge them is basically what you're saying.
Right. That's just me though. That's how I feel with anything. I'd rather be in the dark in some things than to be in the light in everything because I don't want to prejudge a situation.
Okay.
And that's just who I am.
Okay.
I mean,
that's a beautiful thing.
I wouldn't want to put myself in that predicament, So it's like, no, I wouldn't want to know. Because if I did know, I wouldn't feel the same and it wouldn't be going down that route. And let's just say...
So you wouldn't prefer to just cut your losses and be with somebody that hasn't been with 100 people?
All right, let me... Do you
understand what I'm saying?
No, all right, for instance, let's say you've been with 100 guys, right? And God put you in my life to be my soulmate.
Okay.
I could be passing up my blessing, opposed to because of a prejudgment. And let's say you totally changed. Let's say now you're this new housewife that takes the kids to school every day and you do Zumba, what is it, Rumba?
Zumba.
You know, and
I don't do Zumba, but
I'm saying, let's say that you are that person, and God put you in my life and said, here's your queen, and I'm fucking around like, nah, she's a whore, I ain't fucking with her. No, like, I don't want to know. I don't want to prejudge. Let me judge for myself. That's how I feel.
But I mean, I understand that people change, but you wouldn't feel like, wow, there would probably have to be a few screws loose if a young woman has already been with 100 people. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that calls for a very questionable individual.
Maybe,
to make that kind of decision.
Maybe, but I wouldn't want to know, you know, and because if I know, I wouldn't do it.
Okay, I understand.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's time to get up out of here. I'm excited about where we're going.
Oh, yay. Yes.
We're going to a haunted house.
It's not a house. It's a haunted hayride.
A haunted hayride. This is our date night in Hampton, Virginia. Tonight I'm actually off. Last night I had a show. Tomorrow I have a show. So we're actually off tonight. So we ate at Cheesecake Factory for 5 hours.
It was good conversation, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great conversation.
Uh-huh.
And now we're off to our haunted hayride.
Yes. What's it called?
A haunted hayride?
It's not called. It's called something Farms.
The Hunt Farm.
Hunt's Farms or something?
Farm,
yeah, we're going there tonight.
All right, so guys, we'll see you next week, and we'll tell you all about our experience at the haunted hayride and Hampton Homecoming and all that good stuff. All right?
Yes.
All right. Now, just one last question.
For me?
Yes.
What?
Your hair, like you got braids in your hair, right?
Yes.
Does the
cornrow? Well, these are they're called goddess braids.
Okay. Now, do they come out easy when you take a shower, or walk around, or sleep, or nothing, or they're good?
No, they're like reverse cornrows in a sense.
So they stay in there.
They stay in. Why?
Oh no, I'm gonna fuck the shit out of you later. I just want to make sure they don't come out.
Awesome.
But all right, I'll see you guys later on.
That was really amazing.
I'm DJ Envy.
That was really great. That was really great.
You gotta say your name.
And necessary. It was very necessary.
See? Awesome. Now say your name.
And I am Gia Casey.
Oh, wait. Did you shout out the girl that we met downstairs, or you forgot her name?
Oh my gosh. What was her name? Brittany?
All right, we could go with Brittany.
Is it Brittany?
I don't know, but we seen you outside the hotel.
If it wasn't Brittany, I'm sorry. I think your name might have been Brittany, but yes, we ran into a beautiful young woman in front of the hotel yesterday when we checked in, and she listens to the podcast.
And she said, awesome.
Yeah. And she was so sweet and adorable. And I think that was her girlfriend that she was with, right?
I'm not sure.
Well, she was either with her friend or her girlfriend, but she said that listening to the podcast has helped her with her girlfriend. So I'm hoping your name is Brittany. Shout out to Brittany.
There you go.
Thanks for stopping us and chatting for a while.
All right. Now you can say your toodles.
You are DJ Envy.
I said that already. I'm DJ Envy.
And I am Gia Casey.
Toodles.
Toodles.
All right. See y'all next week.